Hello Geminis, this is a reading for you. I am a Gemini myself, so I thought as we're entering into Gemini season, I wanted to do this for us, and I've been called to. It's been niggling at me. I've just been waiting for the right time, and today's it. So yeah, just gonna see what comes through, and I already have had stuff come through. This is going to be interesting. Getting particular lyrics from particular songs. One of them is wasn't it good, wasn't it fine, what I took for granted. So it suggests someone having regrets, but also perhaps someone from the past having regrets about the way they treated you, and wanting to come forward or somehow let you know or try to convince you of how good it was to get you to turn around. And the other song lyric was, can we still be friends? Can we still be friends? Because they're looking to salvage what they can. So it could be a friendship that you've gone on a rocky road, been on a rocky path in a friendship or a relationship that hasn't worked out for whatever reason. And this person is trying to, or going to try to, if they're not already, see what they can salvage from this connection. So just be aware of that. Also, I've had for the last 2 weeks, because Spirit's been getting me ready for this reading. And when I first started doing these videos, I had no intention of doing horoscope based readings. But I have been called, now that it's coming to my season, I've been called to do this. So this is very special for me, and hopefully for all of you out there. There's been a specific animal spirit guide coming through, and that's the Echidna. The Echidna is a small animal, about this big, and it's a gentle, sensitive, beautiful little creature. It goes foraging for ant nests. Its back is covered with spikes like a porcupine, and it has a very, very tender, soft underbelly. So soft. Has a bit of a snout and uses that to sniff things out, and also has pretty decent claws. So because they go hunting for ants and ant nests, and then they will sniff it out and then dig in with their claws and have their feast, I guess. But they are, because they are such, they don't have any other defenses other than their spikes on their backs, and underneath that is this just amazing soft underbelly. So they are very vulnerable to predators themselves, but they have that ability to, they have that protection of the spikes, and they are also very good at digging in to get what they need. So the things that were coming through about that is that, particularly Gemini, the path that we've been going through has really leveled us up. Like, we've been through a lot of pain and turmoil and challenges where we've that have actually presented as opportunities for growth, that have brought us to a deeper, more clear understanding of ourselves and of our lives as well. And all of our superpowers are being activated. It hasn't been fun, but it's been empowering. And this empowerment is what you've been waiting for a long, 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 long time. So we're finally here. Now, because of that, our defences and our discernment have been sharpened. Our senses have been sharpened. Our bullshit detectors have been really switched on, and our intuition and connection to the divine, our intuitive stuff is just like next level, beyond next level, beyond what we could imagine. We could have imagined just a few months ago. So that's absolutely awesome. So with this Echidna situation, so what we're being told is that to become more aware of the fact that when it comes down to it, what we focus on, we're equipped and we're able to get down to the heart of it. To get down, we're able to achieve what we want. We have all the tools. So the Echidna has a really sharp nose, like sharp as in good smelling senses and abilities, and has the claws to go digging. And they're amazing and determined. When they find a nest, they just get in there. No good for the ants, of course, but you know, Echidna's got to eat. So when we hone in on something that we want, we know how to get to the heart of it. We know what needs to be done, and we know, like, there's nothing stopping you. There's a determination about Echidnas as well. And a fearlessness, but as soon as if they feel like they're under threat, they'll just curl up, and then all that the predator or threat will see is the spikes. So we're able also to protect and defend ourselves like never before. So we still have this beautiful, soft vulnerability and tenderness to us, but we're able to protect ourselves like never before. We're also able to see more clearly when something is a threat, because this process has brought us to a real state of inner peace and inner clarity. And so if an element comes in, an element could be a change of job, a change of workmate, it could be a change of environment, it could be a friend or past partner coming back, or it could be a person, you know, or an environment, basically. When anything that's not currently in our sphere of energy comes in, we are now more and more capable than ever to be able to feel the shift in energy. Does that make sense? So you might be in a room at a party at someone's house, let's say, or in a gallery, an art gallery is what I'm seeing for some reason. And then you know, and you can feel who's there, and you can feel the room, and then some other person or a group of people walks into the room, and suddenly the energy shifts. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you hear from someone you haven't heard from in a while, or you see them or whatever, and you can feel how your energy is affected by the presence of other people or other environments. That shift in energy, that you're going to be so much more aware of, or you are currently capable of being so much more aware of energy shifts, and you're not about to let anything disturb your inner peace or take from you, confuse you, or take you off course, or whatever it is. And it's like, well, what is the course? We don't even know who we are, because we've gone through this massive change, and we don't even know who is the new me. I'm getting remnants, a memory of who I was in my 20s, that confidence and all that kind of stuff. The sassiness is coming back. That's awesome. But there's more to this. Our spiritual development has just gone through the roof through these last few months. So who are we even And we're discovering that when we put ourselves out in the world and out in situations, that's where we get to observe ourselves in terms of how we're interacting with the world, how we're interacting with people, what we're hearing ourselves say to people when we ask questions about ourselves or whatever. It's a rediscovery of self. It's quite amazing. And so we don't know where we're headed, but we have a general plan, and we're going to dig into that and do our due diligence, like, do our research and do our thing, or go in the general direction that we're being called, that we feel passionate about going in, but we don't know what's going to happen or what it's going to look like. So it's kind of exciting, a bit scary, but kind of exciting. It's awesome. It's a rejuvenation. We've had a rejuvenation. You may have noticed in yourself when you look in the mirror. God, I look, I don't know, 3-5 years younger than I did just a few months ago. But what I'm trying to say here is that whatever the situation we're moving into with our lives, what we know we have right now is inner peace. We know we are stronger than ever, and we know that we're not about to let something or someone knock us off our perch or make us suddenly feel confused. So anyone wanting to come towards Gemini, they're going to have to come towards us in the right way, because our as I said, our BS detectors are really, really, really honed in and strong right now. And so any sense that we have around any deception coming from the other person, or half-truths, any hidden stuff, a hidden agenda, strategy, if we sense the other person has been strategizing and they have a script they want to adhere to for themselves, because they think they have an idea of where we're at, so they want to head us off at the path and or the past, whatever the words are, and sort of beat us to it, and or give us an element of surprise that will kind of tip us a little bit in their favour, or whatever it is. We are going to sense it, we're going to know, and we're going to be suspicious of it. And it may not hit us right then and there in the moment within a particular conversation, but trust me when I say it, within the hours, minutes, hours, days, weeks or months after that conversation, pennies are going to drop for Gemini. Pennies of clarity, of thought, of wisdom, being able to see. I kept, when I was getting ready for this reading, I kept getting told, let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see everything for what it is. Let's see the truth. The truth about the past, the truth about where people are at right now. Because what's most important for us is stepping forward. We don't want any more rubbish in our lives, any more crap, any more disturbance to our peace or to our growth. Yeah? We want clarity, and we want to be able to step cleanly and clearly onto our path, as we have been doing diligently while we've been in the dark these last few months. We can feel the power from that, so that's our intent, is to keep strong and on our path. Now that can include other people. It's not about shutting everybody out. It is about being able to hear people out, and whatever, anyone that wants to talk to us, that's fine, but no rubbish, no hidden agendas, no bullshit, because it will be seen, it will be felt energetically, and we will do what we need to do for ourselves, because the days of Geminis busying themselves and distracting themselves from their own needs for the sake of others and everything and everyone around us, and running on empty, those days are gone. Please leave a note in the comments section if you're resonating with any of this. I'd really love to hear. You don't have to give any details about yourself, but how this resonates for you and the journey that you've been on up until now. So Echidna, strong sense of self, strong sense of what they want, strong sense of determination going after what they want, being able to get to the heart of the matter, getting to the truth of the matter with ease. Still being sweet and sensitive and vulnerable, but with amazing ability to self-protect. So, and they're also able to run pretty quick when they want to move. When they're sort of scourging around, they look like they're slow, but they're actually able to move quickly when they need to as well. So, and get away from dangerous elements, or however you want to say it. Okay, so is there something to be said around those song lyrics? Yeah, I guess it's the song lyrics are I guess a warning from spirit that there's something approaching, an energy, a person or a situation approaching soon who may be singing that tune, Can We Still Be Friends? Wasn't it good? Wasn't it fine? And maybe showing some regret of what they took for granted. But that's kind of like the feeling I get is that part of showing you that they regret is kind of on, if they can hide that, they will. They kind of want to make it as comfortable for themselves as possible, because it's actually really uncomfortable for them to come forward and talk to you. They don't know what's going to happen. So if they can kind of pretend like it wasn't as bad as what we perceive it to be, or like, let's not talk about the past, can we just be friends? That's to avoid them having to eat humble pie, having to tell you the whole truth, having to, you know, be held accountable, facing any potential consequences for that. And we don't want people around us who aren't able to do that, right? We want people around us who can be as upfront and honest as we are, and get down to brass tacks and actually talk about the truth of the matter, and be held accountable and face consequences, whatever it is that happens. And you know, they may be surprised, but yeah. So just a warning. Just be aware that it's possible that you may get met with that energy in the coming weeks or month. Okay, so I'm going to do a spread now with the tarot. Yeah, so what I'm being told, and I was told this before and I'm being reminded now, what we don't want to have to deal with in other people is their devil energy. And by devil energy, I mean any deception or half-truths, like the stuff I listed. It's actually devil energy, because they're looking to, in some way, they want to act like they're coming clean, but they are in some way still hiding the whole truth. They're not going to show you the full picture, whether that is about how they actually feel about you, how they truly feel about you. They won't give you the full picture of that because they just want to be safe, or they won't give you the full picture of what they actually have done, the level of deception that they've handed you in the past, or the level of, what's that word? betrayal, the depth of the betrayal from the past. They want to hide that if they can. So that's why I'm saying it's devil energy, because they're hiding their horn. They're trying to hide their horns, how bad they were, how much they actually feel for you today, or they may be telling you how they feel, but they actually have some resentment there as well. They don't like that they've been that they're in this position where they have to eat humble pie or come clean or whatever. But it's the only way that they can find peace. So be aware of that as well. There's sometimes people are saying all the right things, but what's their actual intent, and what are their actual motivations for doing that? Is the motivation actually to provide clarity and healing for you, or is it because they can't handle it anymore and they need relief or forgiveness or a new start with you? And there's nothing wrong with that, but be honest about it. Be honest about it. And that's what we expect, right, Geminis? Any star sign wants that. Anybody wants that. So nobody's asking for anything that they're not willing to give. Okay. Huh. Okay, so we have the Moon, the Emperor, the Death card, the Chariot, the Lovers, the World. And actually, while I was cleansing the cards before I started the video, the World card wanted to pop out, and I got straight away ending of a cycle. And in fact, I went to light my incense and picked up an old box of matches that I don't usually use, and the name of the brand of the matches really did the 3D thing for me and popped out, and it's the word cycle. And so the world is about beginnings and endings of cycles. So thank you. That was another. So I'm glad to see that, because it reminds me of what happened with the Matchbox. Is that what hit me? What came through when I actually picked that Matchbox up was that we're actually in the process now. So there's an ending of a cycle has happened, and I believe that is to do with our grief is coming to an end. The difficulty of the pain and that's all come to an end now. We've turned a corner, or we've leveled up, or whatever you want to say. And so now what happens is we're going to be tested. Our resolve, our newfound self, will be tested in ways from the people around us. So we're revisiting old cycles. It's like being in a classroom, and the teachers we've just gone through a whole chapter in a book, and it's been arduous. It's been hard work. It's filled our heads. We've been burdened by going through this chapter, but we've got through it. We got to the end, and then the teacher wants to do revision, right? The teacher wants to revise over, hand you questions, start discussion in the classroom around what did you learn? So what happens if this happens? What did we learn from this chapter? They'll give you a scenario, and they'll say, so what happens with this set of circumstances if we're to look at the chapter we've just been through? And so then the kids are expected to put their hands up and say, well, if this happens, then you do A, B, C, or D, E, F, whatever it is, X, Y, Z. And so there's like we're going through revision now. Because we're going to keep leveling up. We're going to keep leveling up, and the decisions and choices that we make for ourselves are going to affect the path forward. And don't be scared by that. Just be true to yourself and continue to put yourself first. Do what's right for you. That's the best advice anyone could give you right now. The moment you negate your feelings, your intuition, and yourself, in terms of what you want or what you sense, any dangers you sense and all that kind of, that's when you're going to get off course and have to go through a bit more turmoil. But I believe even if you do that, if you misread a person or a situation and start to head down a path that will lead you to more pain or discomfort or confusion, I think you'll recognise it pretty quick because you're on a smooth path now. The gravel is fine. It's like fine sand and gravel, and it's a fine, smooth path. That's what we've come onto now. As soon as you start to detour off that because you get influenced by other people or situations and you start getting misled, let's say, going down a path, you'll see the path is rocky. Your feet are unstable when you stand on that path, on that rock, on those rocks, sorry. So your feet wobble as you take every step. Don't do it. You'll feel it, you'll know it. You'll stop and you'll turn around. And that old saying of there's no turning back, in that instance, there is turning back. You can jump back onto this path whenever you want. Just make sure you're being true to yourself and honest with yourself. So we're revisiting, revising a chapter that has closed, and we're going to get tested on what we've learned. That's literally what's coming in the next month to 3 months. That's part of the excitement, right? Because we're going to surprise ourselves. We're going to see that our newfound commitment to ourselves is unwavering. And we're just going to go from strength to strength, from power to power. And our life is going to become about us. It requires boundaries and discernment. But I feel like where we're at right now is that boundaries aren't an issue. Boundaries were a massive issue for decades. Now they're not an issue because you're not going to have any more bullshit, basically. Sorry to swear. Right, the cards. So card positions the moon, and that is about us having, we're still like at the end of a period where we've had to take time out and take some healing, where we have felt betrayed and hurt, and that things have been hidden from us. As they say, when the moon's out at night, the sun comes out the next day. So the truth will be shown, and things are resurfacing or surfacing now. That will start to stabilize us more and more. Okay, so this is real acknowledgement from Spirit. If you've been through the wars, been through difficulty in the last few months or last year, and you keep saying to yourself, because you're starting to feel better, and you keep saying to yourself, oh, what was that? Like that silly me for being so hurt, silly me for, maybe I was overreacting. You're starting to negate or downplay the level of pain or difficulty that you experienced. If I could reach through the camera right now and give you a slap, I would, because this is why I'm surprised to see the moon card in this position, because we've moved on. We've healed, and we're enjoying the benefits of the difficulty that we went through now. But Spirit's put this card right here in your present position. So they want you to acknowledge, that's why. They're reminding me to say, no matter how good something looks, if someone's returning, no matter how shiny or sparkly the message, or how enticing it is, or how, the song lyrics I was saying before, do not forget. By all means forgive. And this is not to go against any religious beliefs or anything like that, but do not forget what they did with what you gave them. this is self-deception. If you start to downplay the pain you went through, you will start to delude yourself into thinking that it wasn't that bad. The betrayal, the sense of betrayal wasn't that bad. The disappointment wasn't that bad. So that makes it easier for you to let someone in again. It makes it easier for them not to give you the whole truth. Yeah, we need to really be able to see clearly and look at everything for what it is and not have any illusions around the actualities of the realities of things, for us to have, you know, a better way forward in life. So any cross watchers out there, I bet you're having fun. It's a bit confronting for you today. It's a bit confronting for us Geminis too, but hey, this is the reality of life, and this is what we need to move through and acknowledge our discomfort, our pain, all the sense of betrayal and whatever else it was that you felt. We need to acknowledge that and do not forget how it happened and the amount of pain we were in. And it doesn't mean reminisce about it and bring it back. No, it just means I know what I've gone through and I'm not about to forget what I've gone through. And now I'm enjoying the benefits of that. And yeah, learn the lesson. Here we have the current influence is the Emperor, and this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was. This card came to mind, right? Because I'm looking forward out the window while I'm talking most of the time, and this card came to mind while I was saying what I was saying. And so it is about, I know what I've gone through. He's got the mountains behind him. He's sitting in his throne. He's got the world in his hand, and he's got everything he needs. He's very serious. The mountains represent the past difficulties, the mountains he had to climb to get to this high point that he's at now. And he's very, very grounded and serious. It doesn't mean we can't have fun, but we're getting called to recognize that within ourselves at the moment of be serious, take ourselves seriously, and recognize the difficulties that we have had to overcome. And that brings us to the strength that we currently have. So it's kind of like, you know, the worst is behind me. I got through that. He's not chucking a party or anything. He's not sipping his champagne and having a party. He's like, I know who I am more deeply for the struggles and difficult journey that I have just endured. Know thyself, and don't kid yourself about what you've been through. It's been rough and tough, but so liberating and empowering. So we're grateful for everything we experience, right? So lean into that energy. See your strength, your newfound dedication and devotion to self, when no one can knock you off your perch. You choose which way you walk, who you give your energy to, who you don't, who you give your time to, and how much, and who you don't. And more importantly, how much time and energy you give to yourself. Being alone is really important for recharging, replenishing your energies without the influences, outside influences of others or other environments. You need to be where you feel safe, doing what you need to do to just, it's going to sound tacky, but give yourself that spiritual hug. Like, just be there for yourself. Be there, have your own back. Don't look for protection outside yourself. You've got the skills to be able to protect yourself. And it's in the decisions, the discernment and the boundaries and the speaking up for yourself if you need to, or simply walking away. Whatever empowers you. It's not about abusing power and having one up on someone else, or I'm going to get you now. It's your turn to suffer. It's not about that, or revenge or anything like that at all. At all. And so what's coming, if we lean into this, what's coming, the immediate sort of outcome that can be expected is represented by the death card here, and it's about us going through further transformation and moving further along our spiritual path, leaving things behind us, places behind us, people behind us that we don't need to be around. It doesn't mean that that anyone from the past is poo-poo. It just means that if they step forward, they have to step forward with truth and honesty in the right way, the correct manner, for us to give them any of our time. So I'm not saying you completely turning your back on anything from the past, all and everything from the past. It is about moving on. It's more about moving towards what you want to achieve and what brings you joy. Yeah. There are some people around you who will be silent in their unhappiness about the choices that you make. They'll quietly endure the shifts and changes that you're going through and the choices that you're making, and but they'll grin and bear it because they know how they've impacted you in the past as well. And so this is your time to shine, and you're going to put yourself first for the first time in your life, without looking outside of yourself for any nourishment or anything, and do what you need to do for yourself. And those people, the reason they're not speaking up, complaining about what you're doing, is because they know it's your time. Okay? So as I said before, the influence that's coming in this next month to 3 months is one of old cycles endings, new cycles beginning. So even if there's a revisitation of an old energy or old person, it's with a new energy. It's a new chapter. And it doesn't mean that you forget what you learnt. So if you're in a classroom and you've gotten to chapter 5, you've just finished chapter 4, right? Just because you're in the new energy of chapter 5 doesn't mean that you can just empty your brain out of what you learnt in chapters 1 to 4. Does that make sense? We remember what we've learnt, right? Just because you're learning something new or you're in a new chapter or a new energy doesn't mean you forget about everything you've learnt in the past. But this is about us getting busy, which we do like to do, getting busy and dealing with different personality types and all that kind of stuff, and getting stuff done for ourselves, enjoying the dance within that, rather than being, a wearer of too many hats for too many people and spreading ourselves thin. We are in control of where we place our energies, with whom and how much and for how long. Yeah? And not being afraid to be honest with people and say, yeah, I can come, but I'll only be there for a couple of hours. Or I can, you say what you're able to do and what you're not able to do, and when you're coming and when you're going. Okay? And that is another example of the transformation and growth. Self-empowerment. In the past, distant past, we had to make some choices and move on from things that no longer served us. No point dwelling on that, but it's not about forgetting it. And then what Spirit's giving me is impossible situation. We were put in an impossible situation. So perhaps someone was being dog-minded, pig-headed, unreasonable. That's just one line of thought that's coming to me, but it was an impossible situation, and we had nothing further we could do but move forward with ourselves. And that was the best thing for us, because it really opened up the night sky. I don't know why they're telling me to say that to you, but it's like so suddenly I can see the stars. Because it actually removed, that process actually removed the blockages of the crown chakra. So the connection to the divine was re-established and stronger than ever. From the moment that we, even in the most small, gentle way, started to put ourselves first and doing what we needed to do for ourselves. And it involved moving forward and not trying to be the peacemaker and the whatever to everybody around us. More recent past, the Lover's card here. I'm getting the energy of deception around this card, and people having good intent, but then there's other influences, outside influences, having a say in what's going on. So that might be painful for someone to hear, and by all means don't take everything that's said here as absolutely pertinent to you. Different people will pick up on different things or resonate with different things that are said or shown. So don't let this upset you or take anything away from you, because this is a general reading. So just take what resonates. But it was, let's just say, issues around relationships. Okay, more recently. And hence the upset. So that's all good. We know what we're doing. We're moving forward with strength upon strength with every step. Over here is the attitude. So this is where I'd kind of say, well, the attitude that you're applying kind of sucks if it wasn't in alignment with, with your highest good. But actually this is the star. I mean, this is about feeling really comfortable in your own energy. This is about feeling happy and content within yourself and within your environment, that you actually feel at home and at peace, at one with yourself and in full connection with the divine. There's high psychic ability here, as I call it clairvoyance, because when these two cards show up in a spread, I know I'm talking to healers, clairvoyants, highly intuitive people. Even if you're not working as that, you have a very high intuition. And can I say, we're the ones that go through the deepest and darkest, because that is the most powerful transformation of self-empowerment. So, and because we can take it, right? And so then we reap the rewards after, and we've been waiting for this period for a long time, actually. So here we are, and you're feeling great, and you've got a great attitude, and this shows gratitude to me. This is what I'm picking up with this card is that I love what I'm feeling. Like, if we take on that saying that we're spirit in physical form, we're enjoying that physical form right now. I think for a lot of you, you're back on track with how you eat. You're more intuitive with, stopping when you're full, or what you're choosing to eat, but without being on a diet per se. It's just naturally, intuitively happening, that you're feeling better about things, and your body is like reshaping and remolding. And a lot of that, can I tell you, is not about what you eat. A certain percentage is the exercise and the eating, but a lot of it actually is hormonal changes. So there was a period back here of very high cortisol and adrenaline levels in our bodies for an extended, like I would say, the last couple of years. It's been stressful, right? it's been very challenging and very stressful. And so our stress hormones and our self-protection hormones that give us the energy, the adrenaline to be able to, they say fight or flight. So if we feel threatened in our lives, our bodies create the adrenaline that gives us the energy to be able to run or stay and defend ourselves. And often when we're going through emotional or mental challenges in relationships or at work or wherever, our bodies respond with these hormones. And if we don't get moving and like go for a walk or run or cycle or do something that lets that energy out, it makes us puffy, it disrupts our digestive system, our nervous system. It can take us, days, weeks, months to settle down from that if we don't learn what we need to do to get those hormones out of our system. Yeah? So the next time you have an upset with someone, afterwards, don't go home and be sitting on the couch you do what you need to do. But actually, very shortly after, actually get moving physically, whether it's walking, cycling, I don't care if it's push-ups or star jumps, like something that you can do where you express that energy, like physical movement, and that will help you. But so what I'm trying to say is you're feeling good physically and you're enjoying the elements, the beauty of what this world, when you're in the shower, you're really feeling the water, enjoying water. I think water is very important for a lot of us in terms of keeping our auras clean and just giving us that, when you step in the shower and you just have that feeling, didn't realise how tense I was or how much I've been looking forward to this, that kind of relief and gratitude to the divine for what we're able to experience in this realm, the physicality of it and the energy of it. It's awesome. So that's a great attitude to have. A snapshot of how the role we're playing within our lives. We have here the judgment card. And so this person is stating the truth and making things very, very, very clear to all those around. There's no BS coming out of this person. So we're speaking our truth, but we're doing it in a way that's actually non-confrontation, well, there's minimal confrontation. We're not actually directing our communication at anyone. At times, they do need to have the trumpet right down by their ears. At times, I've noticed that. There have been some individuals lately who have tested me, and I've needed to, instead of trumpeting out into the room we're in, I need to actually aim the trumpet at them and say, "Are you hearing me clearly? You're not letting me speak. This is what I have to say on the topic." And then when it makes them stop and they go, right, yes, I understand. And then this toing and froing stops. So clear, concise communication. When someone's not listening to you, you're making sure that they listen to you. Otherwise, you let go of the rope. They're the one with the problem. You just get on with what you're doing for yourself. Yeah? We don't need to get upset about what they're doing or not doing, because we're going to do what we need to do for ourselves. That's the new place we're coming from, right? A place of empowerment. So we actually care less about what others do, but we're making sure that we are heard. If we have something to say about it, if we're affected by it in some way or whatever, we're making sure, or we're trying to help them and they're just not listening to us, we're making ourselves heard. Communication, Geminis, what more do I have to say? Hidden desires and fears. We have the Justice card. So why it's hidden desires and fears, Like, it's like, why would hidden desires and fears be in the same position? Because often what we desire most, we're scared of having. We don't feel that we deserve it, or that we've earned it, or that it's possible for us, that we're worthy, or that it's even a capability, that it's possible. And we might fear that if I do have that, what are the ramifications? So if I'm hoping and praying for, I don't know, a red Ferrari, and I just really want that red Ferrari, and I'm manifesting this red Ferrari, bring on the red Ferrari, there'll be fear attached to that, because what's going to need to change in my life for this red Ferrari to come into it? Have a think about that. So that's why hidden desires and deepest hidden desires and fears are in the same sentence when it comes to this position. This card is about us seeking truth and balance. So not letting anything tip our scales, right? But I think we have a strong intuition at the moment where we're seeking the truth, and we're a little bit scared of the truth. We're a little bit worried that what we get told may tip the scales for us in a direction that we don't, tip us off balance. But for me, I say bring it on. Just give me the truth, give me the full truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'll deal with what I have to deal with at my end. Because I'd rather know, I'd rather have the clarity than trying to protect my inner peace and stay in the dark about things. Yeah? So know that you are actually equipped with both the sword and the scales. They're in your hands and nobody else's. Nobody affects your scales. They're in your hand. Yeah? It's you. So you get to control your reactions to things. There might be some news that's a bit shocking or disappointing for you coming, but you are able to balance your own scales because you know what to do. If anything, during this time you've learned what you need to do in order to get through tough stuff, right? And this is nowhere as bad as what you've been going through the last few months. So have a think about that. In my pursuit of the truth, how scared am I about being hurt or shocked? And then look at what you're equipped with naturally now, your self-empowerment and strength that has been demonstrated in the last few months up to a year or longer. Who you are, have another look at who you are and who you are becoming. And a lot of us are sort of saying, I don't know fully who I am yet, who I'm becoming yet, who I've become even right now. And I've said in other readings, as I've gone through transformation, when I'm home, everything feels sort of, normal, whatever. It's not until I go out into the world and start interacting with people and situations that I've realised how much I've actually changed. And that's been awesome. So don't stress, but we want the truth, right? With the sword, we have the ability to say to someone, come forth, but come forth with truth and honour, integrity, honesty. And we also, with that sword, are able to draw a line and a boundary and say, okay, stay where you are. That's as far as you're going to get. Or come forward, whatever it is that we feel we need to do to keep ourselves in balance. And, life isn't about constant equilibrium and balance. We have to go through, if we've learned anything lately, we have to go through, particularly if you're on a spiritual path, we have to go through down into the dark tunnel where we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because we're going down. It's not till we get to the very bottom of it and we think we're going to break or we're concerned for ourselves that we actually look up and see the light coming from there. We've got to get to our lowest point to see the light. So it's not about always life being smooth sailing. That's not what this journey is about. But know that we are in full control of how to balance ourselves out when we're dealing with challenges and surprises. Okay? So have faith in yourself. Trust in yourself and who you are, that you've got your back. You know who you are. This person here, the Emperor, does not F about. Okay? And neither does Justice. So these are qualities that you have. The newfound strength. It's always been there, and it's been, you have discovered it or rediscovered it. Yeah? Do not be hard on yourself for the trials and tribulations that you've been through in the last few years. They were designed to remind you of who you are. Everything here remaining constant. The end result here is the Fool, and that is us. Again, this is about emotional and mental detachment from those around us. It doesn't mean that we're cold and aloof. It just means that we know what is our stuff. That's why he's got his pouch on his back. We know what is our stuff, and we carry that, and we do with that what we need to do. We don't take on other people's baggage. No more. Whoops. No more of that. We don't take on other people's baggage anymore. We're not responsible for other people's baggage, of easing their load, of taking the weight off them. We're not responsible for them. We can care for others. We can care for others. Be of service to others when we choose, in a sustainable way that works for us. But we don't run ourselves into the ground, negate our own needs, and take on the responsibility of lightening other people's burdens or loads. I hope that makes sense. It's about us. See, the rose represents peace, harmony. That's what the energy we carry with us, that we will carry with us and are carrying with us. And we're responsible for our stuff, not anyone else's. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means you don't take on the weight of the world of everyone around you. You're not meant to be the fixer for everything and everyone and take full responsibility of it. They are responsible for their stuff just as you are yours. We can assist, we can serve in a sustainable, caring way without taking on the burden of unnecessary responsibility. It's not our responsibility. Care and serve as much as you want. Don't take on responsibility. And that keeps us free. So, you know, they talk about the Fool being taking a leap forward in life. But I'm not getting that I'm not getting the leap forward sort of energy with this card today. I'm getting, I'm going to stay on my path and do what I need to do for myself. And it's a rediscovery. It's a unburdened. It's an unburdened. There's a joyousness to it. There's a childlike energy to it of, I don't know where this path is leading, but I can see it. It's clear. It's safe. I feel good and strong. I'm feeling excited to step forward and continue on this journey of self-discovery. It's not about discovering others and taking on their stuff and going down those rabbit holes, because then you're back in the dark again. Doesn't mean you can't care for people. Give them advice, care for them, help them out. Don't negate yourself in the process. That's the major lesson here. And keep doing what you need to do for yourself and stay happy, and invite them to bask in your happiness and freedom rather than you sitting in the mud with them to keep them company. Misery loves company. Don't do it. All right, I hope that's been helpful. I do personal readings, so there's an email address if you want to make a booking, and also thank you for people who've been donating. I really appreciate those gifts because it helps me to continue to do what I do. And thank you for liking and subscribing as well. And please share it with people who you think may get something from this, even if they're not a Gemini. If there's something, like you might say, go to the 22.34 minute mark and listen to what he says there. That might help someone. Be kind, and most importantly, be kind to yourself, but be kind to everyone around you, and continue to treat others as you would like to be treated by them, and have the strength and fortitude to be able to step away if they don't. All right, all the best, and see you next time.